Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Manaka and this is my channel, Manaka. So today I wanted to talk about shadow work. So shadow work is dang. Shadow work is technically like therapy. It's a way to connect to your inner shadow self. It's a way to connect to the side of you that has built walls, and it's a way to figure out how to heal any trauma that you might have gone through or might still be going through. Obviously therapy or counseling is the best way to go, as those are professionals. However, as humans, we do have a tendency to lie to ourselves and to the people that we communicate with, to an extent that whatever it is that we are trying to do never actually works out the best way. So what you need to do is to start learning about yourself. I think I did write about it. Let me just try find try find it in my book. So I know the first thing that you need to do is work on your limiting beliefs. Well, limiting beliefs actually, let's go the other way around. So don't start with limiting beliefs. Start with triggers. So if you don't know what your triggers are, then you would need to work on figuring out what your triggers are. So take maybe a month, a few weeks, maybe even 2 weeks, 1 week, whatever, and write down the triggers that you might have gotten in the day. So anything that makes you upset or angry, write it down. Put it on the list of triggers and just leave the list as is. Once the 2 weeks or the month has passed, then that's when you can work on why you get those specific triggers. For example, a trigger that was a huge trigger for me before, I think I am still working on it, was people disrespecting me. And I understand that it's not that people are genuinely trying to disrespect me. That's how they perceive my energy, basically. That's how they perceive me. So for them to basically wanna, how do I explain it? I can't find the list. But basically you write down your triggers, right? And for me, triggers were people disrespecting me. But you realized after some time is that people disrespecting you or whatever it is that is triggering you has to do with a personality that you've created of your own. It has to do with people seeing you in a specific light. So now it has to do with you looking within, right? Why do you think that people are disrespecting you? Why are you acting in a specific way? Why do you think people are seeing that specific persona? And what is it that you could change about yourself? Do you need to build boundaries? Do you need to voice your opinion more? Do you need to figure out who you are without everybody else's opinion? First and foremost, obviously. So your triggers might make you want to lie to yourself. Your triggers might make you want to not even listen to reason, basically. So the best thing that you can do is find a way to be entirely honest with yourself. Get to a point where when you're speaking to yourself, that you actually ask yourself, is this true? Am I lying? Because the one person that we really need to figure out to be honest to is ourselves. And if we're unable to do that, then we have a big problem. Then, after you realize the triggers and everything, that's when you need to start journaling. Journaling is a good way to let off steam before sort of I always forget words. English and its words and it's many words. Okay. Whenever you want to face your fears, face your traumas and all of that, the best thing to do, or no, I was talking about if you have a problem with somebody, like if you get triggered and it becomes an altercation, the way you learn how to control your actions, control your words, is by realizing when triggers are happening, when you realize and understand the energy within your body. When you realize how you react, do you start talking? Do you start shouting? Do you shut down? Do you want to leave the atmosphere, the energy altogether? And that's when you need to start journaling to find the core. Why is it triggering you? Is it a memory from the past? Does it have to do with what other people in your past have done to you? Like, does it have to do with this person specifically and only this person? Or does it have to do with things that have happened multiple times in your life? Once you realize this, you can actually write out what it was that happened in your life and write out what you would have liked to have happened instead of what had happened. So what I'm explaining is basically called timeline. It's not timeline fixing. It's not. I think it's timeline renewal. You acknowledging what had happened to you and how you felt, and what other people made you feel, and all of that, and just technically what happened, allows you to face the issue, right? And if it means that you need to write it out on a whole book in detail, if it means that you have to cry while you're writing it out, have lit candles, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable, do it. And then once you've done that and you've written down what actually happened, then you need to write down what you wish had happened. So even, not that the situation didn't happen at all, because every situation happens for a reason. Not that you want for that situation to not have happened at all, but what would you have preferred to have happened, that it wouldn't have been as traumatic as it was, for example. I know that a lot of us live in a way where we believe that everything should be light and love and roses and dandy and happy, and that's not life though. We are literally a spirit. We are God. We are God. Please read this book, God's Debris. It's such a beautiful depiction of actually what happened. If you believe in the Big Bang, you will understand why they stated the way they do in the book, God's Debris. The problem is that it had to be stated as a fiction book, when in actuality, I believe it's true. I believe, but I mean, that's from my perspective. I believe that's exactly how it happened. I believe God was one, and I don't know why I'm saying he, because I feel like I'm so used to saying he. But anyway, God was one, and God separated itself into everything that you see now, from living to not living objects. Every single part of it is part of God. Why? Because every single one of us and every single thing is part of God. Every single part of it is part of God. So even if I say I believe I am part of God, and I believe everything in the universe is connected, everything is interconnected, and anything that I do has a ripple effect in my life as well as in everybody else's life who's connected to me, and that connects all the way to anything else that's in the universe. That is a whole other conversation. But anything that I decide to make, whether it's a book, whether it's a song, that is connected, and that becomes a new life form. So that becomes part of the universe. So anything else that has been made, like the fact that we've progressed as human beings, we've created cars, we've built and architecturized, it's not a word, buildings and houses, we've created laptops and cell phones, that becomes a part of God as well, because that is made by the hands of a God that is connected to the fullness of God, which is the universe, which is source. But that's my understanding of it. Let's just say it like that. Anyway, what was I saying? So you write it out so everything, what I was saying is that everything needs a yin and a yang. Yes. So you write it out in a way that you would have wished it had happened, right? Also, another thing that's good is to start having safe words, for example, with the closest people to you. If you have a best friend, your mom, your siblings, your partner, tell them your safe word. If there's anything that makes you uncomfortable, don't allow yourself to get to a point of saying or doing anything that you'll regret. It takes time, yes, to get to a point like that. It takes time, yes, to get to a point like that. But remember that if you have a safe word, you allow yourself the time to think. Because as humans, we all have that capability to switch immediately. However, if you've really started to learn about yourself and understand yourself, you will even if it means keeping quiet, like you don't even have to say your safe word, because that might be a trigger to you. But a safe word is really good, because then at least the people that you love understand that you're going through something, or there's something that they've done to upset you, which means that they can take a step back and wait for you to feel okay again. This is so important, communication, obviously. But that is outside of you, and I think that for now, when it comes to shadow work, best thing, start with journaling about your day and what went good in your day and what went bad in your day and what triggered you, so you can see where your triggers are, how you reacted to those triggers, and how you could react better next time. And then you also need to allow yourself to cry when you need to. If you're like me and you hate crying in front of people, and I'm a crybaby, by the way, but you hate crying in front of people, then excuse yourself and go cry in the bathroom. Excuse yourself and go take some time to yourself and let it out. Crying is very healing, by the way. Crying is a form of release, and learning to embrace that, especially you men, learning to embrace that will allow you to notice that strength is in vulnerability. And then Once you've journaled, once you've cried, that's when you can talk. And I know a lot of us like to talk to our friends, to our family, and all of that about the things we're going through. But usually it's better, what I've realized, it's better to deal with the things that you're dealing with within yourself. Even if it takes 24 hours. I said this a lot in my last video. Take at least 24 hours to yourself to try figure it out. If not 24 hours, at least an hour to sit with yourself, cry, journal, and figure out what it is that you're going through, what it is that actually happened. Because there's a lot there's so many factors outside of us that sometimes we don't even know what's going on within us. And once you're able to understand where you are and where you stand and how you feel about this situation, you'll be able to express yourself better to the person that you'd like to express yourself to. And talking is a form of release as well. Allow yourself the space to be honest with the people that you care about, the people that you love, and the people that you understand love you. Allow yourself the space to also, like, say it's an altercation, for example, allow them the space to state their truth. Understand that when it comes to situations like that, any situation actually, there's always three sides. There's your side, their side, and what actually happened. And usually what actually happens is never seen by either of you. And what usually happens is never seen by either of you because of emotion. And that's why we came here. That's why, as a spiritual entity, we decided we want to experience humanness. We decided we want to experience the good, the bad, and the ugly of being a human. And the beautiful, obviously, of being a human. Because that's how you grow. You grow through hard times. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And in order for a God to understand their creation, the only way they can understand their creation is to be their creation. So, once you talk, allow yourself the space to be honest with the people that you're speaking to, and allow the people that you're speaking to be honest with you. Give each other the space in your hearts to allow, because you love each other, right? You will understand that nothing will ever be done from a place of hate. I was watching this video where they said that, would you ever reprimand a child from a place of hate? And of course you would never. If you ever had to reprimand your child, you wouldn't be reprimanding them from a place of hate, because you love them and you will always love them. It's just that they have done something that is wrong, and you need to show them that it's wrong. But you need to show them in a way that shows that you still love them. So I think that's a place where we need to actually shift our mindset, that we don't need to be mean to each other. We don't need to hurt each other in order to send a message across. But the thing about being a human is that there will always be error. Emotion will always take over. And when it does, we need to allow it and just go with the flow and just let it be, you know. So yeah. Then there's mirror shadow work that I started a few years back, but I didn't realize it was mirror shadow work until I started the actual mirror shadow work. So basically it's when, now don't do this if you haven't prepared yourself, right? So the way I would say prepare yourself is with all the other things that I stated. Start to journal. Start to write out your feelings. Be honest with yourself. Start to cry more when you need to. release. You have to start to talk more and honestly with the people that you hold closest to your heart, and give them the space in your heart to be able to do the same with you, whether it hurts or not. Because you need to understand that your actions, as much as they may have been good from your perspective, they might have not been good from theirs, because we all have different perceptions. And then once you've gotten to a space where you learn this, and this might take some time, this might take long. I've been doing shadow work and I still feel like I have so much more shadow work to do, but that's life. And life is good when you get to learn about yourself, you know? But mirror shadow work is basically, okay, how I started it was that I started doing affirmations in the mirror. I think I've stated this on one of my videos, but I never thought I was that pretty. Weird. I know, because look at me. Anyway, I never thought I was that pretty. So I had to start the affirmations is basically just reminding yourself of the truth that is within. So just saying, I am beautiful. So using the words I am is a way to allow yourself to embody the words that you use after that. So I am a queen, I am a goddess, I am beautiful, I am sexy, I am loving, you know, those kinds of stuff. And you say it into the mirror looking at yourself. I started like that. Then you can also do mirror work where you look at yourself for about 5 to 10 minutes while the light is on. That's how I started it. And then when you've done this for a while, unless you do the 10 minutes or half an hour one, and you have the time to actually do that one, then you go and do the shadow work. Now, this is not for the faint-hearted. Please do not do it if you have not done the other ones that I've suggested. Otherwise, please don't come back to me and say Leah told me. Please, 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 okay? So then the one that you do afterwards, you light a candle, turn off the light, you light a candle, put it in the corner of the room, and you face yourself in the mirror. You will use any hand. I think usually the hand that you use the most is the best to use. And you will swipe to, you will swipe to the left, like you're wiping the mirror, but you don't touch it, obviously, to open the veil. You can say, open the veil, I'm opening the veil. And then you need to prepare yourself to see things that you might not believe are true. When you open the veil, you need to prepare yourself. That's why I'm saying you need to do these other shadow works before you do this specific one. Once you open the veil, what I do, what you can do, you can either stare at yourself, look at yourself, and just look at yourself for 10 minutes to half an hour, or you can talk to yourself. So this is how I do my journaling. So if I'm going through something, I start talking to myself and I allow myself to have a conversation. Whether I answer or not, I will just start speaking and start allowing whatever that needs to come out. Whether it's aloud or whether it's in my head. But it happens while the veil is open, and it happens and it happens and it happens. It's usually best if it's your first time, or if you're a newbie doing this, don't do it around the full moon or the new moon. Do it when it's like either a half moon or a crescent moon. But if you don't follow this kind of stuff, don't worry too much about it. And then just allow whatever emotions to come up. Once that has happened, and you feel like you've done enough of the shadow work, even if you don't get to 10 minutes and you feel like it's too much, then you just take the same hand and you swipe to the right. This is how I do it. I might be wrong, but this is how I do it. And the biggest thing I've learned from this is that I used to be afraid of the dark. And yes, I am still afraid of the dark. But I've learned so much from myself and from my shadow self and from my ego and my higher self at the same time, just by doing that. And it is absolutely crazy to me, because I never thought that would be a thing. I never thought it would get to a point where my shadow work would be like that. It is intense, but I think it's a good form of shadow work. But for beginners, especially if you have somebody who's really been holding on to a lot of trauma, holding on to just things that have happened in your life, you need to start with journaling. Start with actually letting out your emotions. Start with allowing yourself to see yourself, to actually see yourself. And affirmations in front of the mirror while the light is on is also really good for building yourself. And then you can start to talk to people that you hold close to yourself, and then you will know when you're ready. Something you need to understand about yourself as well is that you are a god, as I said it before. So all the answers lie within. So if anything that I'm saying, now this is from obviously my perspective, so if anything that I'm saying doesn't sit well with you, not because of what somebody else has said or what you've heard or anything like that, but if it doesn't sit well with you in your gut, if your gut says no, don't do it. But if it resonates with you and you feel you need to start doing it, please try. And if you have any questions, I know it's a deep one, you can comment below. All my social media is in the description. My communities on Facebook, on Twitter, my Instagram page, they're all there. If you need to ask me questions, please do let me know. But yeah, for shadow work, I think it's extremely important. I think we hide ourselves so much behind a facade, and the facade is basically what we believe society wants us to be. And we've also allowed ourselves to believe that's what we want as well. And we forget who we really are. We forget what we really want out of life. And that's something, shadow work really helps with that. So if you start with these things, so obviously triggers. Once you have your triggers, dive deeper into why you have these triggers, and then dive deeper into journaling about those specific scenarios, like the deeper ones, the ones that started a long time ago, and then gradually work with them. You don't have to do it all the time, but I think shadow work needs to be done, at least the deep ones need to happen at least once a month, to purge any energies that you might have collected from the people that you interact with. Because remember, everything is energy, and everything can emit any sort of energy to you. And if you are an open vessel, then you will catch on to other people's energy, basically. I think that's about it. But yeah, let me know what you thought, which parts of shadow work that you have done and but didn't actually realize that was a part of shadow work. And yeah, and just let me know when or if you're willing to try any of the stuff that I did suggest. I am obviously still on the mirror work, and I do it probably every day for like 5 or 7 days, especially when I'm going through something, and it really helps. Oh, and the last part is a good thing that you need to, I think I say this a lot on the videos, is you need to really know what your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign are. Because once you know this, then you know the elements that are most prominent in your chart, and once you know this, then you will be able to work around those elements. So if you are earth, you can do yoga. Yoga will allow you to move your hips. Remember, especially in women, it's women and men, but especially in women, trauma is stored in the womb. So if you do yoga and you move your hips and you dance and you do belly dancing and you move your spine, you learn how to move any energy that's been stagnant in your body. And that is good for everyone, but it's good to know what your elements are, because you can do yoga outside, hug a tree, you can smoke some weed. Listen, lots of these things, like I'm pretty sure if you have prominent earth in your sign, you can smoke weed and do some shadow work, and that will be releasing as fuck. If you have water, you can go take a shower, take a bath. You can go by the sea, if you're by the sea, and do some shadow work. You can literally, even just a glass of water, you can do shadow work while drinking water and set the intention that this glass of water is going to help me release whatever it is that needs to be released. And just because water is an energy, and it stores energy. I mean, water is something that can store energy. If you are air, today's the Mercury. Use your voice, sing, talk, release whatever you need to release, write down whatever you need to write, cry if you have water energy. What's the other one? Fire has to do with fast paced usually, so anything that's fast paced. So lighting candles, maybe writing down in your journal whatever it is that annoys you and burning it, having a braai or having like just being around a fire pit, or I wonder if 6 is connected to the fire signs. I should actually have a look at that. But yeah, anything that always makes you feel most connected. But remember, 6 is a connection with another human being, which means that you might be more open to whatever it is that they're dealing with. So if you aren't open with your partner, and yeah, that might be deep. Maybe don't use 6. But 6 is a good release. 6 is a good release, especially if you've journaled and stuff like that. You can use 6 as a release as well, and as well to manifest. But that's another video. I'm talking too much. Anyway, I think that's all I needed to say. Whew, that was a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped a bit. And I hope it does make sense. If you do have any questions, please do put them down in the comments, and I will put a question down in the comments as well, and I will put a comment of my own. Please do interact, and share the video with anybody that you believe might need some information. Oh yes, and the sun, for fire signs, the sun is very good. It's very good for us black people, as melanin folk, to sunbathe. You see how white people like to suntan. That's technically what we should be doing, because we literally have DNA that transmutes the energy of the sun into high vibrational energy. But that's another video as well. But anyway, I hope this made a lot of sense. If it didn't, let me know, because my divine feminine is like this right now. She's just like, we're just gonna speak. Hey. But yeah, I'm really glad that I'm really glad that I finally actually did this video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need to WhatsApp me, I know most of my subscribers are my friends. WhatsApp me or send me a DM on Twitter or Instagram, and then we can talk. But I really do like to see the comments. on YouTube as well, so you can motivate other people to comment as well. Yeah. Hope you guys are having a lovely Mercury Day. And yeah, I don't even think I'm gonna upload this on Mercury Day, but we will try. I'm gonna try edit it now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sending you so much love.